Welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to go through some basic MySQL commands to edit and interact with databases built in SQL. We will be using MariaDB, which is an open source manager, or you can say open source server, which allows us to interact and work with MySQL. So we are using the same MySQL MariaDB, which we installed in our Linux Debian. And if you haven't seen that video, so you can just scroll back and uh, go through the video. So first of all, I'm entering MySQL as root. I'm going to use the root password 1234. It is not visible because in Linux the passwords are not visible by default. So when you see MariaDB none, it means that we are running MariaDB manager. And I'm going to create a different user, create user, employee1, add localhost. Employee1, the idea is that we are making an imaginary twice store and database for that twice store. So create user, employee1, add localhost, space identified by, this is the password. So let's keep it something simple, 1 2 3 4, and then there is this semicolon. So whenever we put the semicolon and it enter, that means that we have completed our command and we want to execute it. So now I'm going to type in the next command, grant all privileges. I'm going to grant permissions to employee1 user, which we created. And by the way, usually in professional environments, we do not grant all the permissions to a user or to an employee. We generally attribute only the permissions which are required for them. We provide them permissions to limited data sets or databases or tables which they are going to interact with. So grant all privileges to employee 1 at localhost, semicolon, and enter. We granted the permissions to employee 1. Now we're going to type in the command flush privileges, again semicolon, and hit enter. And now we have created employee1 and attributed the permissions to employee1 to create and interact with the database, or in other words with MySQL. So I'm going to just press exit because I intend to end the session with MariaDB as root, and then I'm going to log in again by using employee1. So you can see sudo mysql u employee1 -p, and then the password which we defined above, 1 2 3 4. Now you can see again I'm on the MariaDB terminal and I'm logged in as employee1. Now we are going to create a scenario, a database or a scenario. So let it be create database in Greenies. Greenies, it's some imaginary name for the store, for the toy shop, which I imagined. You can name it anything like toy shop store or whatever. So create database Greenies and then use Greenies. We want to use Greenies, and now you can see MariaDB, and on the side it says Greenies, which means that we are interacting with the Greenies database via our MariaDB SQL manager. So create table. Now we are going to create some tables in Greenies. Create table products, or let the P be like capital products. So this is the first table. Create table products. Now we are going to define the rows of the table products. So the first one is ID, and it's named ID. By the way, you can press shift and enter to go into the new line on your MariaDB manager, so you don't have to like type in the full command in one line. So ID, int means integer, auto increment means that every time a new row is inserted, the ID goes up, and it is primary key. So again, after comma, I used shift and enter to go into the new line. Now the name is going to be VARCHAR. VARCHAR means, or sorry, VARCHAR, it means a variable character. And 120 means a maximum 120 characters. So next is price, and it is going to be decimal, in decimal form. And let it be like 10, comma 2 characters maximum. And then we are going to define description, and let it be text, because text is open and we can like type in as much stuff as we want in the text. So these are, by the way, data types, right? So I'm going to close the bracket. I'm going to use the semicolon, which means I want to execute this command, and I'm going to just hit enter. And there are other types of databases as well, but every time we create a column or row, we have to define the type of data. For example, ID, it's integer because it is 1 2 3 4. Name, it is variable character. VARCHAR, because it keeps changing. Then price, it is decimal because that's usually how prices are, 10.99, 1.9, or whatever. And then description is text. Text means that I want to just fill in stuff in it. So I created the first table, which is the products table, and I hit enter, and I can see that the table products was created. Uh, Now you can just use your arrow key to bring back that command, and now we can just change the names. For example, it was create table products. We are going to make it a create table. I think we need employees, so create table employees, and then ID was integer. It was auto incrementing. It was primary key. That is fine. Name, VARCHAR is fine. Price, we don't have price for an employee, so let it be access. What I intend to say is access password, something like that, and let it be VARCHAR as well, variable character. And 10.2, I think it's fine, but let it be like VARCHAR 50. I'm sorry, 10.2 cannot be for VARCHAR because it's not a decimal. And description, no, let it be position, something like that. You know, the position of the employee. Is he a manager or a cashier or a supervisor, whatever. So what we have employee, we have name, we have ID, we have name, we have access, and then position. And we can make it VARCHAR as well, you know. By the way, the difference is that in the integers, we can only use numbers, and in VARCHAR, we can use generally anything, numbers, letters, combinations. We only just declare them as VARCHAR because we are saying that these are variable characters. They might change or they might be flexible. So I hit enter, I executed the command, and I've created now two tables, the products table and the employees table. And now we're going to go for the next. So just use the arrow key, bring back the previous command, and just edit the names. So create table, it was employees. I'm going to say clients because I think that's what we need. So ID, integer, auto increment, private key, that's fine. Name, of course, I think it's fine. Client has a name. So access, we can change it to something more which the client shall have, like email. And I think 50 characters is fine, but let it be like 120 just in case. So position, and we don't want to know the position of the client, so let it be address. I think address is fine. Yeah, that's a reasonable thing for the client. And then text is fine. I just hit enter and I executed the command. Now we created three tables. We created products, we created employees, and we created clients. Now we can visualize and see the structure of our database or our table and how it appears. So I'm going to execute the command show databases, semicolon, and enter. These are the databases. You can see green is the one we created, and then there is my shop, which is like another test database I created previously. I haven't made video about it, but I was just testing. Then there is information schema, MySQL, PHP, MyAdmin. These are default databases which are included when you install MariaDB in your server. So now I am going to say show tables because I have already selected Greenis, you can see, and I'm seeing the tables inside Greenis. There is clients, there is employees, and there is products. These are the three tables which we created inside Greenis, if you remember. So thank you for watching the video. In the next video, we are going to continue this database. We are going to insert data into these tables. I hope you liked the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.